Hey everyone, my name is Anders, and today we're going to go over the new War of the Roses information received for Black Desert. I'm also going to give you some updated info on the new season coming out this week for all regions, and go over the new class balance changes coming to the game. You can also use the chapters to skip ahead to what you're more interested in. So let's start with the new info on War of the Roses. This is a new PvP mode coming to the game. Was initially set to release last month, but has been delayed. Should be releasing soon in Korea first, as always, but we are going to have a developer commentary video this Friday showing more of the mode and what we can expect. We were giving the basics in this test server patch, and that is what we're going to go over. So first thing we know is that the mode is going to consist of 300 players versus 300 players. There will be a commanding guild in each side that will control the strategy. You can apply to be a commanding guild if your guild or alliance has won a tier 4 or tier 5 node in the last 2 weeks. So every time you win a tier 4 or 5 node, you will gain points, and the 2 guilds with the highest amount of points accumulated will be selected to become this commanding guild for War of the Roses. If more than 2 guilds have the same amount of points, they will be chosen at random. You will need 10 billion silver in guild funds to apply. If your guild is not selected to be this commanding guild, your silver will of course be refunded. Each commanding guild can only have 100 members selected for the actual War of the Roses fight. 200 players will then be selected from what they're calling the 3rd Legion. Naming of these things of course can change once they localize it, but to apply to be part of this 3rd Legion, you need to have a 680 gear score, so your highest AP plus your DP added together needs to be 680 or above. You also need to pay 500 million silver to apply. From the pool of applicants, 200 players will be selected at random. If you're not selected, you will have your application fee refunded. You do not need to be in a guild to apply to be part of this 3rd Legion. There will also be a 3rd Legion reserve group for both sides that allows you to fill in people who don't show up on the day of the fight. So this means that each side is going to have 100 alliance members from the commanding guild, then 200 random players who are at least 680 gear score or above, with a reserve pool of players with the same gear score requirement. War of the Roses right now seems to be every 2 weeks, but of course these things can change. One side are going to be the Ganels who fight for Camisylvia, and the other side will be the Vidir who fight for Ordolita. It seems like which side you go for will be at random, and each will have their own castle you eventually need to conquer. At this castle site, there will be NPC generals and monsters that you need to defeat to gain overall victory, and of course the other players. Now, to get to these castles, you need to go through and gain control of different sanctuaries. Sanctuaries need to be captured in order, and at each point you will be finding monsters you need to kill. Once you kill these monsters, you will spawn your own allied monsters that will in turn defend the sanctuary. There is one neutral sanctuary that can be occupied with a special mechanic, but I have a feeling a lot of these preliminary requirements and functions may change by the time it goes live in Korea, so it's best to understand the basics of the mode right now. So you start at your castle, you move to the nearest sanctuary, you take that over, and then you slowly make your way over to the other side of the map. Each sanctuary will give you buffs, so you want to maintain control of them. All zones are combat zones, so you can be killed at any time, and if you do die, you can res through 2 methods. So there's a quick res and a normal res. Quick is a 30-second resurrection, but you come back with only 30% of your HP, and the normal one is a 45-second resurrection, and you come back with a full HP bar. Commanders in the commanding guild will be able to assign missions to the 3rd Legion members, which is how you assign roles for them, it seems. You can check where everyone in your side is at any time if you're a commander. If you're a player in the 3rd Legion, you're only able to see where you are, and enemies will not show up on your map. Again, take everything we see about the War of the Roses with a grain of salt right now, since we have yet to see this whole mode go live and we have yet to see the developer commentary video. We still have a ways to go before the majority of us in global regions see this mode on live servers, so there is no current date as from when this will even go live for us outside of Korea. Moving on, we have some class balance changes this week. I'm not able to show you the changes as I normally do. There seems to be an issue with my test server client, so once these changes do go live in Korea, I'll record the changes and go over them again tomorrow with the patch day video. Regardless, these class balance changes will not be going live to global regions this week, should be next week if we follow the standard test server to live server timeline. Succession Sorceress received some PvE buffs. Shadow Flame cooldown has been reduced to 14 seconds from 16 seconds. Damage has increased by 27%. Shadow Wave cooldown reduced to 16 seconds instead of 24. Beak Kick has changed the bound CC to be PvE only. Russian Chrome Magic DP debuff has been improved to be a 20 DP debuff instead of 15. Ultimate Dark Flame cooldown has been reduced to 9 seconds from 12 seconds. Turnback Slash now has a 9% evasion debuff on hits. Black Wave now deals 8% more damage. Claws of Darkness now deals 20% more damage. Shadow Ignition now deals 60% more damage. Engulfing Shadow now deals 22% more damage. And Shadow Flame now deals 27% more damage. There were a few skill link improvements as well I will go over once I can get hands-on testing in Korean servers. Now moving on, we have some Awakening Musa changes. Spinner overall damage was reduced by 8%, but the first hit of the skill has increased damage, while the last hit has reduced damage. The skill no longer stuns on the third hit and instead applies a stiffness CC. Dash Slash overall damage has been reduced by 4%, but it now links with Below the Belt instead of Spinner, and it gains 100% crit rate instead of 50%. Below the Belt in turn gains more skill links as well. Fiery Crevice now deals 35% more damage. Crosscut second hit now deals twice the damage. Projection now deals 1.5 times more damage, and One Step Back now deals 50% more damage. Moving on to Awakening Valkyrie, she received a couple of changes. Hastilidium no longer stops when colliding with terrain, and Verdict Lancia can now link with your F skill. Moving on to Awakening Striker, Skull Crusher now deals 23% more damage. Rampaging Predator now deals 35% more damage. Bite Off now deals 50% more damage. Echo Spirit 28% more damage. Ultimate Crush no longer deals a 20 DP debuff on cooldown and now deals 16% more damage. Autumn Blaze now deals 30% more damage, and lastly Savage Somersault now deals 8% more damage. Moving on to Nova, Thornwood Guards or the pawns will appear next to you after skill links if no more commands are given. This will also apply to Icy Fog where the pawns weren't moving to your side after you use that skill, and the Absolute Storming Star skill will now apply knockdown correctly. Moving on to Succession Drakania, your Dragonborn Constitution passive will now apply additional ions when cleansing slow debuffs. The effect where you cleansed your own slow debuffs with certain skills, you were also cleansing your allies' slow debuffs. That's been fixed, that no longer happens. Markthanen's Scale will now regain additional ions when cleansing slow debuffs. Markthanen's Flourish PvP damage has been reduced by 47%. Markthanen's Dominion now recovers 3 ions and now deals 44% more damage in PvE and 23% less damage in PvP. The first hit of the skill now deals the bulk of this damage. Brimbolt Strike now deals 8% more damage in PvE. Ascent now deals 30% more damage in PvE. And lastly, Brimbolt Raise now deals 30% more damage in PvE. The last class to get balance changes is Succession Woosa. Quiet Waters, your cloud effect, your passive in Succession you generate after using certain skills. Usually that apply to magic DP debuff on enemies. Not all of the cloud effects of course it does, but most of them do this, and that is what enables Succession Woosa to stack DP debuffs on enemies in PvE, making her very good in PvE. This magic DP debuff has now been changed to a DP debuff, which means you can't stack it with your other DP debuff. This only applies in PvE. In PvP, you will still be able to stack your debuffs. This is a nerf for Succession Musa PvE. And that's the class balance for this test server patch. Now, these should be going live next week for us, not this week, but I'll be testing hands-on once they go live in Korea. Some other updates we saw this week include easier crafting of frigates and sailboats for beginner ocean content, improved red battlefield spawn protection and spawn locations. The Fluid Collector Green Artisan minigame has been improved to need less successes to obtain 10 times the loot. Often Tet World Boss now drops more loot, nearly double the rates than before, but to hopefully make that world boss more popular, have people actually go there. Trader's Graveyard will now drop green energy crystals. The Ulukita main story pre-quest is going to be added to start us on the eventual main story for that region once the third grind spot for that area drops, which appears to be very soon. For Node Wars, we can now remove flags, but they will be destroyed on removal. And then for Siege, you can no longer spawn at the inner and outer gates once they have been taken and destroyed. You can now press Shift R to get on someone else's mount if they have the 2-seater skill. As for Season, we have the new season system releasing for everyone on PC this week. I have a guide that goes over everything you need to know. I did graduate from the new season system on my Korean account. In my experience, the process to finishing the pass was much faster than before. There are some changes I wanted to point out and some clarifications I think are needed since I keep seeing similar questions in my last video. So first up, season pass changes from the normal season pass we used to have. The inventory expansion you used to get was character bound before. Nowadays a pearl item, so you can use it or save them up and move them to any character you want. There is no talking to NPC objectives like before. You had to talk to the skill instructor, you had to talk to some NPC about gold bars. None of that is necessary anymore. There is no Agris objective either. Instead, we have kill objectives every few levels. So a 100 kill objective, then 200, 300, 400, and win and 500 monster kills needed as objectives. So when you reach level 57, for example, and you complete the level 57 objective on the season pass, you then can do the 200 kill objective. You then have to wait and reach 58 before doing the 300 kill objective, and so on. The Fugar quest, they gave you advice of Valks for enhancing Tavala to try and Tet. That no longer exists because they incorporated those rewards into the season pass. The objectives are similar, but they give all the stacks to you at once. Getting to Pentavala felt easier than ever before because of the materials you get from the pass and the ease of going through the season pass. You can still do the simple quest line to level anywhere and go through the pass as normal. Graduating will delete your enhanced materials, and the tokens with the one-time exchanges will not reset. If you buy something with tokens that say one-time exchange, they are one time per account. New season characters in the future will not be able to redeem those items again. XP tag share, or the transfer, is for normal characters only. Even though it's coming with this new season system, it is not for season characters. Season characters cannot use the tag system. This new tag XP function is to make up for the fact that you no longer have the Fugar timepiece. If you're going to keep Fugar's timepiece, by the way, if you have a summer season character right now, it will not be deleted when this new season patch goes live this week, but you will not be able to graduate from your summer season character unless you use it or delete the item. And finally, tag XP is going to work for both combat XP and skill XP as long as it's obtained through grinding or active life skills. Life skill XP will not transfer, and you will still only have one tag available. Only thing that changes really is the addition of this XP transfer function to the existing tag system. I think that covers most of the questions I was seeing from my guide video, so hopefully this helps you understand how the new system will work. And that's it for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll leave you with a showcase of the upcoming outfit, Lovely Bloom. This one is for all classes and will be releasing with this week's patch on PC. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.